Good evening, and welcome to another scene in A Desert Dark Crusade. And, well, eventful nights, these recent nights. Madeline has come home and it's been quite, increasingly disappointed or annoyed of certain people's tendency to leave certain things not completely handled. But tonight she's making her rounds to people she needs to check up on, and one of them is Memnon. Very recently, she has been reminded of how good his craftsmanship is, and she is on her way to see him. I'm not thinking that she's coming announced. She's wearing a long and very spacious dark robe. Just her face is visible. And she will come up to his haven. She will just have a look if there's a light on or if any ghouls seem to be home, but she will just knock on the door.
Yeah, when you're approaching his haven, you'll notice that there's a man dressed in what looks like, light armor, armed with a dagger on his side. He's just leaning there casually. When you approach enough, he'll just, well, I'm sure he's going to be stunned by Madeline's beauty. He might stutter, but he'll say, "Who approaches my lord's haven?"
A very good friend of your lord. If you wish to inform him, say that Sister Madeline is here to see him.
You see his eyes flicker as if he's trying to run through the names. We'll just say one moment. We'll knock on the door, and you'll then hear the familiar voices of his ghouls. It's the lady ghoul that you've probably encountered before. She dismisses the gentleman and says, to him, "Oh, don't you know who this is? Oh, please, Sister Madeline, you are most welcome. Come inside."
She won't chastise or really anything of the man. She just looks at him and says, "Continue doing your duty, and please have a very pleasant evening." She doesn't seem to any sort of malice. Actually, she seems fairly pleasant with him.
Sorry, food in my mouth.
Oh yeah, no problem. But she just nods and smiles at him, and she'll proceed inside.
So Sophia will lead you inside. She'll say, "Do forgive his insolence. He is not like I, nor like you. He is, he's not a part of the sequence." You can see that she's trying to like an understanding.
Yeah, Madeline just smiles. Yes. Yes, it is not all of us, but who knows? Perhaps he will be introduced by you at some point. She smiles.
She'll say that is for the Lord to decide.
Oh, it is. One can only wonder.
She'll lead you somewhere to sit while she goes and fetches Memnon, and Memnon will appear in very short order. He comes to you quite quickly. He actually looks very pleased to see that you're doing well. You could tell right away from the expression on his face. He perhaps looks relieved. He'll say, "Sister Madeline, good fortunes to see you yet again. I had been concerned for your well-being. Thank you for coming."
Concerned for my well-being? That is uncharacteristic of you, Memna. She grins as she comes over and she will hug him.
Why would you say that? My lady has saved Memnon's life on quite a few occasions. I would be remiss if something happened to you.
Well, I suppose that's true. It's just Memnon is normally so stoic, so has such an iron resolve that he does not show his feelings. It is good to see, to a certain extent, although that aspect of good Memnon here, well, it is a part that I do enjoy. It is so hard to get any sort of reaction from him, but I have done so without even trying.
Perhaps for you it is simply effortless.
Hmm, perhaps. But she smiles at Memnon and just say, so, I would have visited, I would have visited sooner, but I did not hear of you being missing. But I assume you have been affected by the recent troubles.
Yes, gravely. It has been a disruption towards my business, and I think the lady knows how Memnon does not like his business being disrupted.
Hmm. You and pretty much every other Canite in the city.
So Madeleine's wearing the armor.
She, you can see the cloak
Oh, okay.
is open a little bit, and she will just take it off. And yes, she's wearing his armor.
Hmm. Well, Memnon would definitely comment. I you flatter me wearing the mail. Not the mail, the plate that I've made for you. I assume that you've recently put it to use, or are you just taking it out to get a feel for it?
Well, you know that I like my dresses and loose clothing. It is suiting me more, but these nights, this is something that I must wear, and I must commend you. You are truly a master of your craft. And she will just point to the back, let's say just around the shoulder. You will see that there is what looks like a burn mark just on her armor, and she just points to it. You see this?
Mm.
An
Scorching.
attempt, an attempt on my life. Well, but your armor held. It is not even seriously damaged. I thank you for this.
Memnon smiles and he says, "Well, I wouldn't want to see anything happen to my most preferred customer and, well, my Ancilla. I'm glad that it served you well."
I know.
But yes, says you can see as Memnon, he I probably should have announced that earlier. He too is like wearing his armor, uh, which you might find probably considering all the circumstances befitting, even though he's sitting in his own haven. He kind of just points to certain scuff marks. You see, the integrity isn't compromised, but it looks like it's been battered.
Hmm. We are all scarred, it seems. Well, our equipment for the time being, but last night I rescued two people myself. Irene was, well, incapacitated, but saved. I really hope that Saladrin does not do anything rash and returns her tonight. I returned the Ventrue I saved, along with Lady Catherine of our own clan, the night of, but Saladrin is Saladrin. Who knows what his mind has cooked up?
Hmm. I will keep an eye on him.
Well, for the moment, I would say that there is something else you should keep an eye on.
Oh, and what would that be?
A giant armored figure and a priest. Those are the two behind this recent development.
Giant armored figure and a priest. Are they like us, or?
Oh, yes. Not our clan. I, well, there are not too many of them around here due to some actions of Toreador, Ventru, and Tremere, but two of them are Salubri elders, I believe. They used to live here. They were driven off by the Tremere and their allies, and, well, I thought that they would have the good sense to kill their enemies, so they would not be trouble later, but, well, here we are. And they have not well, contained the problem, and now we will all have to deal with their lack of containment.
Hmm. So this whole, if I'm understanding right, and if you would agree, this whole calamity that's been spreading is more than just one Ventru's consternation at not holding the crown.
Ventru?
Memnon gives you a look as if, wait, you haven't heard? You know, like, you don't know this? Perhaps my lady has not heard the other side of this calamity.
Apparently not.
Whilst your noble persona and others had been away at the auction, my shop was attacked by a pack of canines, all children of the Ventru Herman. They announced that themselves. At least that's
Madeline just sighs quite deeply.
what.
And her head goes back a little, and she just, oh, I do apologize. Please continue.
Memnon waves away. It's like, don't need. Yes. Fortunately, I was not completely alone, but we were outnumbered. They had been butchered, two of them staked, the others thrown into my forge to be disposed of. No need to have them laying around, I suppose. But they, in the midst of our battle, their leader had asked for a parley where he explained at least some part of Herman's intentions. They came looking for me, seeking to bring me back to him to have an audience. I suppose he wanted to persuade me. However, that deal came with the catch of having to imbibe a portion of Herman's blood. Well, I denied their request, and then I slaughtered them.
That seems fitting. Also a weird way of negotiating. Coming in, barging and breaking into one's domain, only to offer an audience, where you will have to swear fealty by drinking blood. What happened to a simple letter?
Exactly. No courtesy these nights.
Seemingly not.
But now you see why I asked. Or, well, why I proposed that this was more than just one Ventru's consternation. Perhaps these Canaanites are allies with Herman. Perhaps they have some greater ambition.
Or they are, well, two or more sides who have recently been wronged in their eyes by the city. And if they are wronged by the city, it would perhaps to them seem as a logical way, allying to punish the city together.
Yes. A common enemy between them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Salupri, I do not see them allying themselves with pretty much anyone, but
War makes for strange bedfellows.
quite so. But you killed 4 of them?
3 of them. 2 of them. Well, no, you are correct. My man Gadawain had killed one of them. And, you can kind of see the look on Memnon's face turn a little bit sour. He killed one of them on his own. I commend him. His valor and prowess was unexpected, but he fell in battle. And for that, I will make Herman pay.
Oh, I see. Well, take strength in his sacrifice. Take strength in the sorrow that it brings. But you do have my condolences.
Thank you, Sister Madeline. Though I can take solace that I bit the head off the man who did it. He was fed to my furnace, obviously.
But not all of them?
No. I have hidden 2 away for the sheriff's interrogation. They remain staked.
I see. And that no one escaped, I assume?
No, I am not of that true.
Oh, very well said. She smiles. She actually comes over to him and she just puts a hand on his shoulder and just, like, pats it. Can I see them?
Of course, for you, Madeline. But we would need to take a walk.
Of course.
Yeah, so Memnon will get his own cloak. And probably lead you out of a back door, if there is one. I've never really thought of a back door in this haven. But I mean, considering all things going on, Memnon's going to kind of lead you in a roundabout way, stealthily. I don't think he's brought you to his warehouse before, but it looks like it's been shuttered for the night, though he has access to it. He leads you inside, and you can see that this is where not his best stuff is ever stored, but just mundane weapons and armors and things like that. Is where he keeps the bulk of things. He'll lead you into a room, and there I haven't really taken the time to flesh this out, but essentially, he's taking you through a few passages that will lead into the tunnels. Well, we can obviously guess is Memnon's tunnels, as he's been building some for you. Yes, he'll say, "Watch your step." I have not made any lighting down here for obvious reasons.
When you look at her, her eyes are completely black, and she just smiles at you. It will be all right.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, you guys are gonna go for just a few minutes wandering through his tunnels, and Memnon will bring you to a spot where he has these 2 individuals. See that they're staked, and he has them bound in chains at the same time. Kind of arranged in a way where pulling the stick out will be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Say, these are the 2 Cretans right here.
Yeah. Madeline will just look at them for a moment. And she will Actually, I am actually gonna roll the thing, and I'm setting us up in dice roller number 2. One moment.
Mhm.
That's, I think it's 8. Difficulty. Okay, I've got plenty. She, what she does is she goes over and she begins to hum to herself, and you'll see her. Um, she puts a finger or 2 fingers on one of their wrists and puts a hand on both of their foreheads as she begins to hum or sing. As she just looks down at them. Look, it sounds like something you would sing for a child, maybe trying to get
Oh,
them to
okay.
bed or something.
Yeah, like a little lullaby.
Yeah, something like that. Hmm. Hmm. She smiles. She gets up. Hmm. Wait. Hmm. Have you? They were obviously sent from their master. Was there anything that stood out about them?
Mm, particularly, no. Though I was perturbed by this. They came with a flagon of blood. Of course, as I stated, that they wished me to imbibe it before I met Herman. Which leaves me a question of whom in this city that did remain that night and were visited by Herman's men that were made the same offer, whom decided to partake of the deal, if anyone.
Do you still have the flagon?
I have passed it off to a not a coworker. Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to say that he passed it off to someone else for further study.
Ah, okay. That can solve quite a few of our problems.
Assuredly, it was to someone who was not here during that night.
But they seemed in control, not blood crazed.
No, no. Which is another calculations. If you were an accountant and you're overlooking the books, the numbers aren't quite adding up. From what I understand, Herman has made a considerable amount of children. That blood has to be coming from somewhere. All of those bastards of his have been coming from somewhere. I will take it upon myself to look into missing cases of missing people.
Well, he has had months to do this.
Hmm,
Quite a long time, in fact.
true. He could have been engaging in this revolt since, well, the first night he decided to do so.
And could have gone some ways away to another princedom. Or a princedom in upheaval, where there is less control. And if you did that, you would have plenty of time to make plenty of children. What a mess. But We will set it right.
I'm sure we will.
Have you inquired as to what their auras look like?
I do not possess that ability, unfortunately. And I have, well, as I said, I was waiting for the sheriff to return to do a proper investigation, though the longer it takes, I suppose I should request the aid of the other hounds.
I was thinking if he is willing to break, what shall we call it? The
Protocol?
privilege. Yeah, the privilege of domain, it seems, these nights. Well, perhaps his children are not too concerned about breaking others.
I would not think so. Seems their modus operandi is to upend any of those loyal to the current prince.
Hmm.
Wait, were you talking about Memnon or the other guys?
The other guys.
Oh, okay.
Madeline is just looking at them and just, There are still many people left in the city. It seems unlikely that they would want to go to all-out war, even though that is pretty much what they have done already. But I could try and look at them if you'd wish, or we can't return. This should be handled by the sheriff.
I'm not familiar with all the protocols that the sheriff would have in place. I would always trust your judgment, Sister Manling. I'm only erring on the side of caution. For respective stations and spheres of power.
Of course.
But as long as you're here, you may look upon them as you wish. Plus, there is the case that since you've invited me to your haven and I have been constructing your tunnels, I think it's only fair you know where mine are. In the event that should you find yourself in need of shelter, but you are far away from home, do know that you are more than welcome here.
She just begins to stare at these two. And she just says, she doesn't look at you, but she just stares at them. She says, I wonder, have you had any visitors down here?
Save a Nosferatu, but that's to be expected.
With a warning?
Oh, yes. Construction can overlap each other's projects. So.
Quite. I had the Lost Methuselah here in my haven. A nice enough fellow. My neighbor, supposedly. Well, close enough. My neighbor, yes. And she kind of just shakes her head a bit and just blinks a couple of times. And it seems to fade, whatever she was doing. Just says, perhaps I will try a little bit later. I do not see anything out of the ordinary. We have not discussed anything that problematic. But
Oh.
do remember, normally you should at least cover their ears so they cannot hear. Of course, if they are in torpor, they can still hear us. They cannot hear us, but if they are merely staked, well, then they can hear what we say.
That is true. I will take that under advisement.
Again, no secrets have been passed here.
No, just the unraveling of their plan. And you see Memnon kind of like lean in and smile at them, hoping now that you reminded him that they're somewhat conscious.
Oh well, we can return. Mm, As they begin to return, she will just, like after a little, she will just say, "So, who from the clan of the Hidden? Who was it that visited you?"
Shulam himself.
"Who?"
Meshulam.
"Ah,
Shulam, yeah.
so he has been busy. Oh well, one must do what one's Primogen wants."
That's true. That is true. You see, like you see that Memnon is thinking about something when you mention the Primogen. Tell me, Lady Madeline, do you have any particular leverage with the Nosferatu Primogen?
Hmm. I do have a working relationship. Helped him a little. I have not. Mm, I suppose you could say I have a working relationship. No boons are owed one way or the other, and last I checked, I do not have any reason to believe that he is have any feel anything against. I mean, Nosferatu being what they are, some of them tend to be a little generally insulted by my presence.
Oh? Memnon's like really curious. It's like, why does your presence insult them?
You know, they tend, well, especially Elder Nosferatu and Scylla, it seems to, well, all of them really. Some of them seem to hate the Toreador for their immaculate appearance.
Ah, carnal
She
jealousy.
smiles very smugly at that.
Mhm. Yes. Yes, Memnon puts it as carnal jealousy. You did just right. Um,
But then again, very few Nosferatu do themselves justice. I would not say I would not say that they are blind. They are very human in that sense. Letting their jealousy get the better of them, but they sell themselves short. It's one of the most crafty and industrious clans there are.
Indeed, I've been trying to make inroads into a formal alliance between our two clans, working with Meshulam. Did I ever tell you about the excursion I and a few others had in their tunnels?
I have been deep into the tunnels myself, on more than one occasion. But what part of the city was this?
It's hard to say what part of the city. Meshulam took his measures to keep us not knowing in which way we were going. Blindfolded, he did to us. I thought it was only respectful. I played along. But it seems they had some infestation of ghostly things. In the end, we had it resolved.
Well, that is good to know.
believe the underground terrain is prime real estate, especially in moments like this. I am so very glad that you have allowed Memnon to provide for you a safe place beneath your haven. I'm pretty sure in the future, many others would, well, I don't suppose will know about it anyway.
Hmm.
If only they did, they would be coming to Memnon for services.
Are you planning to open an underground hotel?
Not quite a hotel, but with the new Elysium, whose progress I'm sure is being halted at the moment, I had envisioned at least some portion of it being underground, secreted away for the collective of the court and Canaanites. In a time of great struggle, it may provide a tactical solution to defending ourselves. Something like I don't know if the words bunker exists in this time, but that's essentially what Memnon's getting at.
Hmm. Yeah, it takes a couple of 100 years before something like that is. I think it would be earthworks, but yeah. Um, she just thinks for a second. And this is what you would wish to speak with the Nosferatu Primogen about?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Hmm.
I understand that they are, well, as they should be, and rightly so, very reluctant to cede more of their terrain underground to others. Though I can't see how they could not see that it would be a boon to them if they allowed such a structure in place. I mean, Memnon himself does not quite need the accolades of the genius of the idea. They can have that. Once people marvel and see the utility of what I can produce, Memnon will best be served.
Hmm. Hmm. Madeline has a smirk on her face. Perhaps in time we would have a keeper of Elysium from Clan Nosferatu. Hmm.
Perhaps.
I would love to see the faces on Toreador and Ventru both. That would be grand.
I can't think of another clan more befitting to keeping secrets, well, aside from us, next in line, the Nosferatu.
Quite so. I'm just gonna, like, they're probably getting up into his warehouse or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she will just say, yeah. Yes, but it is a good idea. It should be an Elysium with, well, quite a few entrances and exits, if underground. So that it would be next to impossible to close it off. People would always be able to get out or in.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Oh, she just said that there should be many entrances and exits, so people can always come in and go out, and it's impossible to corner it off or close it off or siege it in any way.
Right, right. Yes, I envision something like a underground fortress, if not quite to the same scale, but eliminating threats as fire would.
Mm.
straining the number of potential enemies a bottleneck. Again, I'm not sure if that term exists, but maybe he might make a reference to Thermopylae. I don't know, but that's what he's getting at.
Mm. A funnel. I think funnels are a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Some place to funnel our enemy through. So the numbers don't count for anything.
Quite so. I had a thought the other night. My tunnels specifically. If things become desperate, I do have a plan, but I do not know. My domain and my tunnels are close to the river. They are well constructed and there will be no flooding. But I have thought, would it be possible to flood them intentionally if one would wish to do so?
Memnon, you see him thinking. It is not entirely impossible. No. It would require certain contraptions. A sluice gate. Again, not sure if that's a term that exists, but I mean, I know that they've made dams before in this world.
My idea is if one is hunted by torches, or someone uses fire to watch you, if you are underwater, well, that becomes quite a lot harder.
Memnon's suggesting something. He's going to suggest, well, he could extend your tunnels towards the river if STs allow, and it's enough length towards it. If that were to be done, he can create possibly a gate that would take raising to flood the tunnel, although you would have to be at that end of the tunnel to have the water come in. Memnon might suggest, he's going to feel meddling out about the suggestion of having essentially a large tank of water somewhere else in her domain that's easier to access to flood from there. Filling up the tank with water would take a little bit more time, so it doesn't look too conspicuous, but less.
Well, it is also because I don't know if you know, you are still somewhat young. Have you felt the draw of the water?
Lately, I've been thinking of overseas adventures, business ventures, nonetheless.
It is. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Though I have thought about it, I have had this nagging feeling that it should be something hands-on.
I spent once 2 or 3 years at the fishing villages to the north of here, with the Great Lakes, and in the Mediterranean. It is something I can only encourage you to do. And it is very natural for our clan. We tend to simply, at certain points, want to explore the depths of lakes, oceans, or at least go sailing for a longer period of time. It is only natural.
I had spent the last of my breathing years upon the sea, as you know, when Memnon was still a slave. It never did turn my the sea away. And I see the practicality in what you are suggesting. There's a certain, as I've seen you in combat, there's a certain advantage your form would lend you underwater, nonetheless.
Very little can burn underwater, and few can see the form's full extent underwater. It has very many advantages if one is under attack, but I will not take any more of your time tonight, Master Memna. I must be going. Please tell your servants to be careful and have a very good night. The person at the door is new.
Oh, yes, I hired some mercenary, some guards. I'm being long before this calamity happened, sort of just extending my presence in my domain and offering some security to my neighbors. It did prove useful, and though they are not of the blood or blessed with the blood as my ghouls, so I have not quite filled them in on whom they should respect or not, lest a trick is played upon them. Do forgive them. It is a measure of security for our kind.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Secrecy is our weapon. The less they know who we are, the better. But I'm just wondering if it is just local people. If it is just one or two guards, you perhaps should have them bound to you. But if it is more, well, it will become a little bit more difficult, but you will be up to the challenge.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry about that. I thought I turned off my mic.
Okay, no problem.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, she just commented on Memnon's, like, the challenge of having multiple people that you can't tell.
Right. Yeah, Memnon will say, with the death of my Gadwin, I was thinking perhaps promoting a new ghoul to captain my guard, leaving the explanations and things to them.
Perhaps a smart move. But please, I will not take any more of your time. Please be careful, and I will speak to you soon.
Memnon will just offer Madeline an escort back to her domain. She would like it. Not that he thinks she needs it, but you know.
No. She thanks you for the courtesy, but she says it's not required. But she does thank you quite deeply.
Of course.
And unless there's anything else, I believe this is the moment we will end our scene.
Yep.
Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.